Hello.
Hello.
All right. I needed to test my audio. I do apologize because this is a new mic. I'd like to say hello, good morning, and happy beginning of the week. This is the weekly charge up, episode 1. This is going to be a weekly event to help you charge up and get ready for another wonderful week of your life. The focus of this particular episode, weekly live episode, is to find inspiration in what you're doing, uh, what you look forward to, whether you're having a hard week, whether you're expecting a hard week, or whether you just don't know what to expect. So, since this is the holiday season, and I love the holiday season, although we tend to forget the main thing of being thankful during these seasons. So I would like to share, and I'll give a little insight on this a little bit later. I would like to share a little bit of an insight on share a prayer called the Prayer of Thanksgiving. And I'll give you the history of this prayer in a few moments. Give me 1 minute. I'm sorry. Okay, so what I'd like to do is read to you the Prayer of Thanksgiving. This is the prayer they said. We give thanks to you. Every life and heart stretches towards you. O name untroubled, honored with the name of God, praised with the name of the Father. To everyone and everything comes the kindness of the Father and love and desire. And if there is a sweet and simple teaching, its gift us mind, word, and knowledge. Mind that we may understand you, word that we may interpret you, knowledge that we may know you. We rejoice and are enlightened by your knowledge. We rejoice that you have taught us about yourself. We rejoice that in the body you have made us divine through your knowledge. The thanksgiving of the human who reaches you. Is this alone? We have known you, O light of mine, O light of life. We have known you. O womb pregnant with the nature of the Father, we have known you. O never-ending endurance of the Father who gives birth. So we worship your goodness. One wish we ask. We wish to be protected in knowledge. One protection we desire, that we not stumble in this life. When they said these things in prayer, they welcomed one another, and they went to eat their holy food, which had no blood in it. I have found inspiration personally within this within this scripture. So with this, we'll talk about where this prayer is found. This prayer was found within the Nag Hammadi Collection, which some people may approve of, some people may not approve of. That is your personal belief. But these were what was said in the beginning of feasts and celebrations by the early Christians prior to the development of the church and Christianity as we know it now. I'm a fan of the Nag Hammadi text and the Gospels that didn't make it into the Bible. So a lot of my pullings do come from that, and it comes from the actual Bible. But this particular prayer you could find in the A New Testament by Hal Taussig. It's all the New Testament written in understandable plain English. Now, on that, I have to put a disclaimer, and it's which other version of the Bible you tend to follow. It's the disclaimer of everything is lost in interpretation. This was written in Coptic. I think I'm saying that correctly. If not, and you come across this, leave me a note, and I will let you and let me know whether I pronounce it correctly or not. But there was a specific. Okay, I do have it. There was a specific asterisk that I want to bring up in this, and it was in the verse, the fifth verse of this, and it says, "We rejoice in the body; you have made us divine through your knowledge." Now, I do want to take a look at the asterisk part, which is by the word divine, and there's two referencing verses for this. And where I'm going to read it out of is the Good News Bible. Now, I'm going to make a disclaimer as well. Yes, I am quoting a lot of the Bible. Do not take this weekly thing to be of strictly biblical verses, because I think we could find our encouragement throughout different verses, throughout spiritual teachings. Now, these are the teachings that I am studying under right now. So these are the teachings that you will hear me say. I will follow different quotes from different texts, spiritual texts, throughout different aspects of life. Before I touch upon this verse, and I'll read it again so I don't lose track of mine, I do want to say that I do want to state a little bit about my spiritual history. Me personally, is that I grew up Roman Catholic. Roman Catholic the old way. Prior, that's a long story, and I'll probably get into a history of it on another video on those histories. So I grew up Roman Catholic. I didn't say atheist. I basically became non-denomination in my late teen life, early adult ages. Fell into paganism, which I feel helped build me a lot. Got a little bit into the occult, and I have gone full circle due to much conversation with my significant other on accepting Jesus and his teachings, his true teachings. Again, that is a discussion for another time. I am a big fan of the Gospel of Mary, which is also part of the Nag Hammadi Collection, although that particular gospel was found on its own. And I have found that there's a saying that, as I was going through my spiritual teachings, that every spiritual road hits to the same mount. I think I said that correctly. And there is an underlying teaching that is taught. And I noticed this in the 80s. I am dating myself at this point, that a lot of people became selfish and self-absorbed and obsessed. And that's what it has become. Obsessed with external gratification. And there is a verse, and unfortunately, I don't have it with me. I don't have it memorized, although my significant other wonderfully keeps reminding me. But there is a verse that where Jesus reminded us that it is within us. It is within us. There's a reason why there's a saying, money can't buy you happiness. The most miserable people have the most material things. Yes, it gives you instant gratification. Nice big house, beautiful car. But this is why this particular prayer during this time is very important. And coming that we are upon the week of the observation of Christmas for those who observe the Julian calendar. The reason why I make this specification is the Orthodox follow the Georgian calendar, which has Christmas falling on January 7th. So for those who celebrate this week or that week, Merry Christmas. We also have Hanukkah happening during this time frame as well at the end of the month. Actually, it starts the day after Christmas, which actually starts this week, as well as Kwanzaa. So happy Hanukkah and happy Kwanzaa to all those who celebrate. We just passed Yule yesterday, winter solstice. So to all my pagan friends, blessed Yule. And I think I've hit every holiday for this month. If I have not, please forgive me. Please drop a line. But all these holidays during this time of the season is meant for showing generosity. Now, something has occurred during this time frame for this holiday where people are more obsessed with spending money or how much they could spend instead of taking in um, taking in the true meaning. I am grateful. I am thankful. I am thankful for the breath that I've been provided. I am thankful for the roof over my head, if you have a roof over your head. I live in New York. I work in New York City, and I see so many people who do not have that blessing. Thankfulness. This is also a time to provide generosity. But generosity does not um, have to be just shown, exercised, and demonstrated during this time. And after reading the Thanksgiving prayer, it is an individual prayer of Thanksgiving during events, but it should be a daily occurrence. There are family dinners going to happen, family exchanges going to happen, uh, family drama. Sorry, it's par for the course. But if you take that prayer, and I'll read it again once I hit those two references to the divine, which I'm going to get back to. Once you accept the Thanksgiving, that prayer was talking about little things that we do not normally say thank you for, things that we take for granted. Don't take for granted the fact that you are able to spend time with your family. Be thankful because something beautiful will come out of it. If anything else, wonderful memories. But it should be a remembrance of joy, a remembrance of gratitude, a remembrance of appreciation, a remembrance of community. Not all communities always get along perfectly, but there's a Thanksgiving, and you were blessed with this by whichever higher power it is. And this was a prayer, like I said prior, that was recited by the early Christians after the death of Jesus Christ. Now, let's go back, because I tend to, those of you who follow me know that I sometimes go on little rants, because everything is connected. And if I say it, there's a reason why I'm supposed to say it for whoever's supposed to catch that message. So this is the Thanksgiving prayer within the New Bible, and it's on page 7. And verse 5, I'm going to read it again. We rejoice in the body you have made us divine, asterisk, through your knowledge. Now, the asterisk gives a side note. So the first reference is in Psalm 82:6, which reads, "You are gods, I say. All of you are children of the Most High." We are children of the Most High. A lot of times during this time, our parents make this time magical. As we grow and we expand from this, we take the memories of what our parents taught us as a child, whether or not you believe in Santa Claus or you follow the Santa Claus tradition. We did not follow it in my family too much. It was more about Jesus being born. Dispute with everyone whether this is the time or not, but for me, it's not the time, it's the meaning. So we always are, our parents, and those of you who are parents understand that you always want your children to expand further than you. All of you are children of the Most High, merciful, strict, but fair, grateful in every aspect of life, which is what we should be. Which I'm going to go back to this because of Christmas. Forgive me, I am not Jewish, nor do I come from a Jewish background, so I do not know the celebrations of the Jewish Hanukkah celebration. I do know Christmas, and I do know Yule. And it wasn't Christmas necessarily, but it was Yule who taught me. We make a wish list for Christmas because it's always, unfortunately, gimme, 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 gimme. Or how can I outdo this person with this gift? And that is not the point. The point is to give. And if you receive, be thankful, be grateful. I was having a discussion, I think it was this past week, with one of my best friends. And actually, no, it was this weekend. Yeah, it was this week because she's on a mission. She's the most giving, strict, but giving person I've ever known. She does animal rescues. She carries extra food if she goes into the city. She doesn't live in the city, but the few times she goes into the city, she carries extra food with her all the time, which is something I don't do. Non-perishable food to give to homeless if they come up to her and they're hungry. I have another friend, I haven't spoken to her in forever, who she actually, now whether you agree with this or not, everybody has their own way of contributing. She always carries a flask with her. And if she comes across a homeless person that really wants a drink, she has this whole thing she does, and then they get what they want. But they're always, this is daily giving. I digress. So my best friend was on a mission. She ran into a homeless guy in her area of where she lives, which actually surprised me because her area is it's a mixed place, but it's a very high-end place. So you wouldn't think to find homeless people there. But she ran into a homeless guy who needed hand warmers in the dollar store. And she bought him the hand warmers. If those of you who are familiar with the dollar stores, are only $1.25. So she got him a couple, but she had like a large bill that she wanted to break. She wasn't going to tell this individual that she had that she was going to give him money. So he disappeared. And she felt so bad that she did not have a chance. I mean, I was on the phone with her the whole time, and she went to, I think, every shopping center within the vicinity where she was. She went to the nearest church to see if the person went there. The person disappeared. So that was day one. A couple of days later, where I get a text from her. Oh no, no, it was the week after. She ran into him, and she has tarps, and she wanted to give him a tarp. Turned out that the day that she met him was a very cold day. We had a very cold week where I'd be surprised if we didn't have a couple of people who slept outside freeze to death. That's how cold it was. Hence why my voice is like that, because I get up early in the morning to go to work, and that cold was kicking my butt. So I can't imagine being stuck out in the elements. So we were talking. She ran into him. She was going to give him a tarp. She didn't have it with her and everything else. And we ended up having a discussion on how the little things make people appreciative. Those hand warmers that she bought for that guy, that she didn't have to buy. She said, Judy, I'd never seen anybody light up that way when I bought that for him. That man was so thankful. Hand warmers. Now, those of you who grew up with, like, you're wishing for the latest console, which I don't think is coming out this year. I no longer game, so I don't keep up with that. But the latest game, the latest gadget, the latest phone, that's what you're looking for. And you get disappointed when, as moms do, give you underwear and socks. And although you try to keep a very, how can I say, positive face on, you're in your heart, you're disappointed. I have 7 siblings. No, I have 6 siblings. And I know the look. I've seen the look. I've had the look. But those are the things that are the most precious. Those underwear, those socks that you get, they're worth more than that gaming console, than the latest version of the iPad, iPhone, whatever you want to get, computer, laptop. Yes, we need it. We want it. It keeps us connected to the world. But if you step out your house, you need the underwear. You need the socks. It keeps you warm, which is something you take for granted. So be thankful. Those people I talk about that I see that my friend carries her extra food for, they would do anything to have the luck, the blessing that you have of waking up every day, hopefully in a warm house, fresh, clean underwear to put on, and socks to keep you warm as you get ready for your day. Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving. Giving thanks. Give thanks that, yeah, it's not what you wanted for Christmas, but it's what you need. The divine always gives you, God always gives you what you need. Your parents always give you what you need. You can't always get what you want. So that's That's Psalm 82, 6. The other one that's referencing to that is John 10, 34, verses 34 to 35. So allow me a moment to bring this up. So John 10, verses 34 to 35. Jesus answered, "It is written in your own law that God said, 'You are gods.' We know that what the scripture says is true forever. And God called those people gods, the people to whom his message was given." Now that one is a little bit more exact. A little, you could go on that one, because who are the people who receive his message? They are those that accepted Jesus Christ. Now, most people don't like when people say stuff like that, but it is the message that Jesus Christ provides us and teaches us. We are just now, millennia after his death, starting to grasp. Now, most people take those verses and they take it the wrong way, because most people think, I am God Almighty and I have all types of. No. There's a peace, there's a humility, there is an appreciation that comes through that verse. God created many things, many beings, many animals, many planets, many universes, many things that we don't even know about yet. And I truly do believe that. We are slowly starting to learn it, hence why we are children. But you can't be bratty children. Hence, Thanksgiving. I don't interact with Native Americans too much, but I've done a lot of reading, and like everybody else, I've seen a lot of movies. And the one thing I have always seen consistent, which is something that has eluded us in our society and throughout our development, is comprehension of giving thanks. I'm going to read the prayer again, because this is a prayer that has to be read a few times for those to understand it. And as I'm reading, understand what is being given thanks for, what is being verbalized for gratitude. Because these 13 verses within this prayer holds a whole lot. And I will revisit this, but coming that this is the first episode, and I'm thankful for your visit, and this is the week of so many holidays of generosity and appreciation, in my view. I think it's very important to start off these weekly inspirations with such a prayer. So I'm going to read this prayer again. This is the prayer they said. We give thanks to you. Every life and heart stretches toward you. O name untroubled, honored with the name of God, praised with the name of Father. To everyone and everything comes the kindness of the Father, and love and desire. And if there is sweet and simple teaching, it gives us mind, word, and knowledge. Mind that we may understand you, word that we may interpret you, knowledge that we may know you. We rejoice and are enlightened by your knowledge. We rejoice that you have taught us about yourself. We rejoice that in the body you have made us divine through your knowledge. The thanksgiving of the human who reaches you is this alone, that we know you. O light of mine, I'm sorry, we have known you. O light of mine, O light of life, we have known you. O womb of all that grows, we have known you. O womb pregnant with the nature of the Father, we have known you. O never-ending endurance of the Father who gives birth, so we worship your goodness. One wish we ask, we wish to be protected in knowledge. One protection we desire, that we not stumble in this life. When they said these things in prayer, they welcomed one another, and they went to eat their holy food, which had no blood in it. Now, I do have to have put in a disclaimer, and I should have put this in the beginning when I started, is these are my interpretations, and this is how I view it, and this is where I am spiritually. My viewpoint is subject to change, like any human being. But I don't think my viewpoint on this particular prayer, these 13 verses, will ever change, because it's very powerful. It's very humbling. And I wish, let me see, to share a story. Today is the 22nd of December. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Okay, so tomorrow will be the 6th-year anniversary of my father's death. 2 days before Christmas. And 6 years been rough. Not as rough, not more rough than it has been for my mother, who lost her companion in life. And I don't bring this up to bring sympathy. I bring this up to bring a point. When my father died, I was devastated. Literally devastated. Had to read up on the 7 steps of grief. And oddly enough, currently, I know of 2 coworkers that lost their parent in the last week or so. And it's horrible. And it's horrible to go through this and be thankful and give thanks when you have such a horrendous thing occur. Now, as I process this, and this is going to go back to the verses, as I process this aspect, I got angry, as everybody does. And you get mad and you turn away from whatever faith you have. You don't understand. Even though I was a person who accepted death as part of life, we see our parents as immortal. So, like every parent, they had less than I was provided for when growing up, and made sure that they added on to what their parents taught them. So once I went through the whole process of grief, I realized that I have to honor my father. I have to honor my mother. How do you do that? You live the life and add on to, you live life as they taught you, and you add on to it. You give them thanks when you walk through life in their honor. Think about it. Through all the verses of Jesus Christ that I've read throughout my life, the one consistent thing is in the name of my Father, in honor of my Father. That's how I view that. In honor of my parents. I give thanks for the blessings they have bestowed on me, whether I have taken it for granted or not. As you're throwing that fit, the temper tantrum as a kid, because you didn't get your way. You didn't get to do what you want to do because your parents decided you. We all talk about it. We all know it. But when you hit a certain point in life and you realize the sacrifices that they make for us, so we could have a foundation, all you can do naturally is give thanks. So if you believe in a divine father, you give thanks this week. Walk through life. Walk through this week. Granted, I know a lot of people have to work. We have work to do. Some of us has taken vacation. Some of us made the trek and took the adventure of going over to see family in other states, other countries. But give thanks. Give thanks. Honor. If you go and you have a Christmas tree and there is a gift wrapped up nice and pretty, like parents like to do, wrapped up nice and pretty underneath that tree, it does not matter what is under that, what is in that box. You give thanks for them providing you that appreciation. Also give thanks for the little blessings. Give thanks. Maybe I'm going to see if I could post that prayer, that particular prayer in the comments after this live. If you want to recite that, I do eventually will like to do a breakdown of that, whether that be an individual video or whether I will break it down as a weekly is yet to be seen. But it's beautiful to know that you can honor your parents in that manner. It's beautiful that you could honor God in that manner and acknowledge the part of him that is in you. Appreciation, thanksgiving. Now, this, as I said in the last verse, it said that this was said before consuming food and before celebrations. And it is good and important to give thanks. Going back to the Native Americans, they always gave thanks to the animals that provided their life for their subsistence. Materials for your subsistence. The world, and I'm sorry, I laugh because it makes me think about when I was a kid and, what do you wish for? I wish for world peace, unity. Well, it's doable if everybody lived a life of being thankful and giving thanks. even for the uncomfortable part of life, because it's a lesson. So, on that note, we're going to leave you. I'm going to leave you. Well, on this topic, I'm going to leave you with the can I say this? With the note of give thanks for the little things in life. Give thanks for the celebrations. Give thanks for the ability to spend time with people. And I will write down the verses that I touched upon. I will try to get a copy. I couldn't find this copy online because it is part of this Bible. So I probably will type it up and add it on as a document to the description of this. Now, like I said, this is going to be hopefully a weekly charge up. These are just one of the few steps I take to motivate me through a tremendous time in our life, in our society, and personally in my life, where it's a little bit hard. Live life in honor of the Father. Live life in honor of your parents. Whether your relationship is good or not, they gave you something precious. Life. You are a blessing to somebody because they gave you life. Whether you still talk to your parents or not, they owe that thank you. So I will be doing a weekly show. I may have a co-star, a co-host on occasion. We have something on its way to get you guys going on your weekly start of the the start of the week. Please forgive me. I'll probably edit that out. And we will be touching on our interpretations. Now, I have to explain. I am not a theologian. I am an amateur theologian. I have no proper training except for what has guided me within my heart, the circumstances that God has taken me down this road, and my curiosity and my obsession of becoming more knowledgeable within faith-based religion, which is life in general. Again, now I am not being paid by anybody. I am not getting any monetary gains by this. But since I used the prayer, I'm going to say it again. You could find it in A New Testament. This book is by Hal Taussig. I will try to put the link in the description if you want to buy it from Amazon. And I will see you guys next week for episode 2 of Weekly Charge Up. Be thankful, be beautiful, and have a beautiful week. Because every day you wake up is a blessing.